Hey guys, Elizabeth Lang here, and I am doing my realistic marital vision presentation. So, we live in Greenfield, Indiana. My husband and I have been married for over 11 years now. We met at BYU, Idaho back in 2011, got married less than a year later, and have lived in a few different places, and we're here for now. We have 3 kids together, ages 10, 6, and 3. So, this was a little bit of a difficult presentation for me to come up with. When we were asked to talk about where our marriage is and an improvement we would like to make. The reason being is I feel like I have my ideal marriage already, and I don't mean to sound overly self-confident or full of myself, but if there's one thing in my life that I'm proud of, it is my marriage. It's something that I can point to and say, this is working and this is going well. But there is always room for improvement. And so I thought long and hard about it, and I came up with this idea that I think Curtis and I have struggled with off and on through the course of our marriage, and that is scorekeeping. And so this kind of falls into the myth that it's a 50-50 deal, when really I think that it should actually be both couples giving 100%. But one of the things that was debunked in this myth is that some days one partner might be giving 90% and the other might be giving 10%. And I feel like overall, Curtis and I are pretty good at that. But the one thing that we tend to do sometimes, or at least I tend to do, is keep score, right? And it's not that I have a literal tally sheet in my head that counts everything that I've done for my partner, but I often find myself thinking, I do all of this and he's not doing this. Or, everything that I do, why isn't he doing more? So, what I would like to do for myself is to shift away from that and to shift more on what is he doing for me? Or rather, focus more on all of the positive, all of the good things that he does that I appreciate. So, and I feel like this is realistic because there are going to be days where I'm going to step up and do more because he's having an off day, right? And there have certainly been days and will continue to be days where I am sick, I don't feel good, and he's just got to step up and do more. In fact, that's happening right now as we are navigating me being in school. He has to step up and do more. And so that is kind of my ideal vision for an improvement in our marriage. Now, I do think that this accounts for both of our personal weaknesses, because we all have times where we kind of get in a rut, right? Or we all have times where we're selfish. And so I think if we can conceptualize this myth and keep in mind, okay, this is not supposed to be tit for tat. It's not supposed to be, I think this was talked about in John Gottman, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. So I think if we can kind of remember that, we both need to be 100% committed. And we're going to have days where we feel like the other person is doing more. And I think a really good way to combat that is to maybe talk openly about it, right? And that's how we can account for weaknesses, is we can do something like say, hey, I need extra help today, or I'm struggling. And I think if we can do that, it can help us keep ourselves in check from keeping score or trying to, hyper focus on all of the things I'm doing as opposed to all of the things he isn't doing. So, that concludes my video presentation. I hope that I was able to hit everything in the rubric, and thank you for watching.